Okay, here we go. From Berakhos, Daf Mem Vav Omen Beis, Berakhos 46b, right from the end of the third line. And we're in the middle of a discussion regarding the Bracha HaTov V'Hametiv, which is the fourth Bracha of benching, whether it's D'Oraisa or not. And so far we've had several opinions say it's not D'Oraisa. Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak, Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak says, Teda, you should know that HaTov V'Hametiv Lav D'Oraisa. HaTov V'Hametiv is not D'Oraisa. Why? Shaharei okrinosa bebeis ha'avel, because they remove it in the house of a mourner. Kidutanya, as we learned in a brisa, mahem omrim bebeis ha'avel. What should they say in the beis ha'avel, in the house of mourning? And they mean here during benching. Baruch hatov v'hametiv. The bracha Baruch Hashem l'kim l'achlam hatov v'hametiv. Rabbi Akiva disagrees. Baruch dayan ha'emes. That's the bracha, and that's the Gemara source for that bracha we say in a Avel's house. Hatov v'hametiv in dayan ha'emes lo. So do we say hatov v'hametiv and not dayan ha'emes? So no, elaima af hatov v'hametiv. You say you say hatov v'hametiv, but of course you have to say dayan ha'emes. It's a very important bracha to say in an Avel's house. Now, as we learned a few dafim ago, that kishem she'adam mivarach al hatov, kach mivarchin al hara. That just as a person has to make a bracha for the good things, also has to make a bracha on the bad things. On the bracha we make dayan ha'emes. Marzucha ikla lebe Rav Ashi. Marzucha went to the house of Rav Ashi. Isra be milsa. And something bad happened to Rav Ashi. Probably it was a death in the family, as will become clear in the context. Pasach baruch hatov v'hametiv el emes dayan ha'emes. So Marzucha made the bracha hatov v'hametiv, the good and makes good, the God of truth and the true judge. And he kept going in the bracha. Shofet b'tzedek, he judges with righteousness. Lokeach b'mishpat, and he takes with judgment. V'shalit ba'olamo, and he rules in his world. La'asos bo k'tzerno, to do like his will. He called Derachav mishpat, because all of his ways are mishpat, are judgment. Sha'akol shalo v'anachna amo v'avadav, everything is his, and we are his nation and his servants. V'chol anachnu ubekol, and with everything anachnu chayavim lahodos lo uvarcho. We are obligated to thank him and to bless him. Goder pirtzos b'Yisrael, he who closes the pirtzos, the breaches in Israel. Hu yigdor es hapirtza hazos Israel Chaim. He should close this breach in Israel for life. So at the end, an uplifting bracha. So lahechan hu chozer. So before we go on, let's just look quickly at the Rambam. And he says, Ukashim mevarchem beveis ha'avel. When you make the bracha in the house of an avel, in the house of a mourner, omer bebracha revius, you should say in the fourth bracha, meaning in the bracha hatov v'hametiv. Hamelech Chachai, very similar to the Girsa we just learned in the Gemara. Hamelech Chachai Hatov V'Hametiv El Emes, the God of truth, Dain Ha'emes, the true judge, Shofet B'Tzedek, Shalit B'Olamo, he judges with righteousness and rules in his world, Lasos B'Rkutzono, to do according to his will. Sha'anachnu Amo, we are his nation, V'Avadav, and his servants, Ubakol, and in everything, Anachnu Chayavim L'Hodos Lo Uvarcha. We are obligated to thank him and to bless him. And then Rambam goes on to say, and then we ask for mercy for the mourner, to appease him, according to what we are able, and then we continue with the last part of benching, which is after all the brachos. So that's the order in the house of the Avel from this Gemara. Onward in the Gemara. Now, where does the person return? Again, we're talking about a person, back to the initial discussion, a person who is part of a zimun, and he's with three people, and one person, the person himself, would like to keep eating, and two of them would like to bench. So he has to join into their zimun and wait for them to get to a certain point in benching, and then he can go back, return to his meal, and then bench on his own. So the question is, Lehechanu Chozer, what part of benching does he have to return to? Rav Zvid Mishmida Abaya Omer, Rav Zvid in the name of Abaya says, Chozer l'rosh. He has to go all the way back to the beginning of benching. For Rabbanan Amri, and the rabbis say, L'makom shepasak, the place where he left off. So, meaning wherever he listened to in their benching, in which case, this case we're talking about, he would have to listen to the entire end of the first bracha. So he would start from the second bracha, from no delecha. So what's the actual halacha? V'hilchasa l'makom shepasak. And the halacha is from the place where he left off. Onward. Amar le Reish Galusa Rav Sheshes. The Reish Galusa, the head of the Galus, a political position in Bavel, asked or said to Rav Sheshes, Afagav de Rabbanan Kashishayas, and even though you are very holy, very special rabbis, Parsai B'tzarches Uda B'ki Iminaychu. The Persians, regarding the needs of the meal, are better than you. They have better manners, better table manners than the rabbis. Bisman shehein shtei mitos, when there are two mitos, two beds. When back in that time, they used to lay down on these couches, and then that's how they would eat. So when there are two of these couches or seats, gadol mesev barosh v'sheni lo l'ma'ala himenu. The more important person sits at the head, and the second person sits lower than him. It was manchein shalosh, and when there are three beds, gadol mesev v'emsa, the most important sits in the middle. Sheni lo l'ma'ala himenu, and the second person sits above him. Shlishi lo l'mata himenu, and the third in importance sits under him. So Amar le, so Rav Sheshes responds back to the Reish Galusa, V'chi bai ishta'ave b'hadeh. So when he wants to go and talk to the lower person, meaning when the more important person wants to talk to the person below him, Mitaretz terutze, he has to he has to straighten his whole body out, v'yasev mishta'ai b'hadeh, and then sit up to lean and talk to the unimportant, less important person. So Amar le, so the Reish Galusa responded, Shani Parsoi, the Persians are different, and this is not a problem. Why? Because they have hand gestures. They talk in sign language. So the more important person does not have to get up and turn his entire body to talk to that person under him. Okay, so then they continue the conversation. Mayim Rishonim Mehecha Matchilin. Rosh Hashanah is asking, Reish Galusa, when do they start? Who starts? Or what's the process of their Mayim Rishonim, of their hand washing in the beginning of the meal? Amar le, Reish Galusa replies, Mina Gadol. The most important person starts. Yoshev Gadol v'yishma yadav ad shenotin kulam. So Rosh Hashanah asks, does the most important person have to sit and guard his hands until everybody washed their hands? Amar le responded, no. La'alter maisi tachakame. Right at the beginning, immediately they bring a table filled before him, filled with food, so he can already start eating and not have to wait for everybody to wash their hands. Next question of Rav Sheshes, Mayim achronim mehechan matzchilin. What's their order of operations when they do Mayim achronim after the meal? Amar le, Reish Galusa responds, Mina katan, the smaller person. And then so Rav Sheshes asks, V'gadol yasiv v'yadav mizuhamos ad shenotli kulam. Does the most important person have to sit with dirty hands until everybody finishes washing and then he can finally wash his hands? So Amar le, Reish Galusa responds, no. Not the case. Misalke tachakame, they leave the table in front of him ad dinamate maya legabe, until everyone finishes and then the water is brought to him. So far the Reish Galusa is answering all the questions of Rav Sheshes and explaining how the Persians really have better table manners or better meal operations than the rabbis. So Amar Rav Sheshes said, now we're going to explain what the rabbis' reasoning for their etiquette is. Ana masnisa yadana. I know the following Mishnah. Ditanya, as we learned in the Brisa. Keitzad seder haseba. What is the order of haseba, of sitting down by the meal? Bizman shehin shtei mitos. When there are two beds, gadol mesev barosh v'sheni lo l'matei menu. The most important sits in the front, and the second person sits under him, just the same way the Persians did. Bizman shehin shalosh mitos. When there are three beds, gadol mesev barosh, and this is different. The senior person sits at the top. Sheni lo l'ma'ale himenu, the second person right under him. Shlishi lo l'mata himenu, and the third right under him. Mayim harishonim matchilin min hagadol. First washing, we begin with the most important. Mayim achronim, and after washing, bizman sheim chamesh, when there are five people, matchilin min hagadol, then we start from the most important. Bizman shehin mea, but when there are, let's say, even 100 people, matchilin min hakatan, we start from the smallest of the 100 people, ad shemagin etzel chamesh, until we get to the final five. And then v'chozern umatchilin min hagadol, and then we start from the most important person. Ulumakom shemayim achronim chozrim, and to the person, the place where the mayim achronim goes to, l'sham bracha chozers. That is where the bracha also goes after. So in other words, if you want to know who the most important person is when a bunch of rabbis are sitting together, you and there are many people, you wait for the last five, the first of the last five to wash. He's the most important. He's the one who's going to do the bracha, Berakhos Hamazon. Misayei Leila Rav. This supports a story that happened to Rav. The Amar Rav Chia Bar Ashi Amar Rav. Rav Chia Bar Ashi said in the name of Rav, Kol Hanotel Yadav Bachrona. Whoever washes their hands in the last group of 5 is what it means here. Tchila Hum Mezuman Lebracha. The first of the last 5 is the one who's going to be the one to make the bracha. So then they tell a story. Rav Chia Havo Yasei Besudasa. Rav and Rabbi Chia were making a suda, Kamei de Rebbe, with Rebbe Yehuda Nasi. Amar le Rebbe the Rav. Rebbe said to Rav, Kum Mashe Yadach, go and wash your hands. Chazid de Kamarates. Now Rebbe Chia saw that Rav was very embarrassed because maybe one of two ways of understanding this. Either, and we also had the same story appear about 12 days ago, if I recall correctly. Because Rav thought maybe Rebbe Yehuda Nasi is telling me my hands are dirty, I have to wash my hands. Or, alternatively, maybe I'm taking too long to finish the meal and he's saying, hurry up, go wash your hands. We're ready to wrap this up and do benching. So, Amarle, Reb Chia said to Rav, Bar Pachsi, son of princes, son of great ones. Ayin b'birkas mezona kamerlach. He's only telling you to look into the birkas hamazon, meaning he's giving you the honor. He's not insulting you. He's not telling you you're doing the wrong thing. He's giving you the honor of saying Birkas Hamazon. Tana Rabbanan, and the rabbis taught in a brisa, Ein mechavdin, we don't honor people, lo b'drachim, v'lo b'gsharim, not on roads and not by bridges, v'lo b'yadayim mizuhamos, and not with greasy hands at the end of the meal. So that takes us all the way to the next Amud, which we will continue in the next video. And I hope you all have a beautiful, wonderful